It's spring of 2015. I'm excited about going to California, dreaming about the Bloody Mary I'm about to indulge in and placing my toes in the sand. And on the car ride, I needed to use the restroom. So we made a stop at a truck stop, pretty clean, not too smelly, not shady, as our current generation would call it. But I couldn't help but notice this poster on the door as I left. Oh, let's see. Hold on.
Is it recording if it says record?
It should be saying recording.
It just says REC and that means it's good?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
This was placed on the door as I exited the room. It didn't take long for me to realize what it was about. In fact, I didn't even need to read the words on the sign. Here I am in this restroom, and I'm supposed to be looking out for a child smothered in makeup with the possibility that she is being shipped from state to state, used for sex up to 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. This poster is the inspiration for my speech to you today. It is a two-part speech. Today we'll go over the basics of human trafficking and some of the things we should know as physicians. And next time, we're going to go over how to recognize these victims and the sources available to us as physicians for our future practice. This is from the National Human Trafficking Resource Center. It explains that traffickers, or pimps, as modern day terminology would call it, use violence, threats, deception, debt bondage, and other manipulative tactics to trap victims in horrific situations every day in America. All trafficking victims share one essential experience: the loss of freedom. This is a chart that same website provided for us, and it kind of breaks down what human trafficking entails by definition and legally. So a trafficker will use action such as obtaining or harboring a victim. Then they'll use a means of force, fraud, or coercion to get them into sex trafficking or labor services. Globally, this is a $150 billion industry. And that includes labor forces and sex trafficking, so that's not limited to just the sex trafficking. Currently, there are 20.9 million victims suffering from this, and 1.2 of them come from North America alone. This is not the edited version. Sorry about that, we're missing a slide. This is the slide I wanted next. So in the United States, California, Nevada, and Texas are specifically the most common locations for the sex trafficking. Ages 12 to 14 is the most common age group, and they can be as young as 8. This is also to be known that it's not just females that suffer from this, males are also impacted. And when we think of sex trafficking, my initial thought as a average citizen would be the movie Taken, where we're shipping them to other countries and back, etc. That is not the case. This is our pimps on the streets, commercial brothels, and escort services. And this is a homeland problem. This is not just in Mexico, in Europe, in Asia. This is an American issue that we need to be aware of, and that our pimps are making $200,000 a year and averaging 4 to 6 prostitutes in their possession, so to speak. This was a statement that really hit home for me. So minors under the age of 18 engaging in commercial sex are considered to be human trafficking regardless of the use of force, fraud, or coercion. So let's go back to this one. In prostitution, the oldest job in history of mankind, you don't need to have force, fraud, or coercion present. An adult woman over the age of 18 in Nevada, for example, where it's legal, prostitution can be carried out and it's not considered human trafficking. But with the statement I just read to you, if you're a minor under the age of 18, it is human trafficking regardless of consent. I wanted to tell you a story from a documentary I watched called Tricked. It's on Netflix.